Hello everyone, my name is Ron and I live in Canyon Lake, Texas. I've been here for about 25 years and I want to thank you for visiting my new YouTube channel, the Comanche Highway. Quite a name, right? But anyhow, if you would like to, there are a couple things here. If you want to follow along as I explore the Comanche Highway, then you should click on the subscribe button. And this way you'll get a little notice that I've posted something new. I actually do this myself. I follow Green Mountain Metal Detecting. I follow a couple people and I don't want to miss out on their videos. There's a guy in Florida that puts out these trail cameras and I follow him. I subscribe. I want to, he shows you what the mountain lions and the bears and everything that walks in front of his game camera in the Everglades. So that's why I subscribe. So if you would like to follow along this adventure as I explore this Comanche Highway, then please hit the subscribe button. Now I also have a Facebook channel, so kind of important too. It's real easy to, I post updates there. It's very simple. A YouTube channel is really a lot more complex than Facebook. It requires, audio skills, video skills. It's formatting. There's just a lot to it. I've purchased a program to make my videos. Even when you upload a video to YouTube, then from the time you hit upload, it takes a couple hours can go by before it even appears. Not like Facebook. On Facebook you can add a video or a photograph or a message with just a few clicks. So anyhow, another thing that I do is I watch different guys that are producing, putting out these videos that I like to watch, and I watch, I see what they're doing, and I also learn that way. So yes, I do live in Texas, like I said, just south of Austin, and there's an ancient creek that I discovered. I work in real estate, and I'm out there finding the different survey pins, and yeah, sure, whenever there's water in it, which isn't very often, that water flows. This creek, I guess, becomes a river, and it flows into the Guadalupe River. But most of the time, it's a dry creek bed. I was down there the other day, and I was just amazed. You're at the bedrock. This bedrock is just ancient looking. It looks different than anything that I've seen, different than all the rocks that are around there. This is a very old riverbed. Now another thing is that yes, the Guadalupe River does flow into Canyon Lake, but there's an upper section of the Guadalupe that still flows and looks just like it did thousands and thousands of years ago. And it just so happens that this Comanche Highway, this dry riverbed, that's where it enters the Guadalupe River in this unobstructed area. So this video is my introduction to the Comanche Highway and a very special 3.5 mile section that I'm going to be exploring. Now, one of my maps here, you can see it. You can see the path on this map. That's 3.5 miles. What am I going to find? You're certainly invited, like I do. I like to watch Green Mountain Metal Detecting. I watch some people that go into these old mines, gold mines from 100 years ago. I sit back in my easy chair in the morning and with a cup of hot coffee, and 30 minutes of, for me, a lot of fun to watch. So this is what I'm inviting you. This might be fun for your kids, friends. This is all just family-oriented fun. So now, how did this all come about? If I look back on my life, even when I was just a little boy in growing up in Southern California, this is back in the 50s. I was just fearless. I had no problem going. That's what I did. I just would go into the Santa Ana river bottom. It's just been what I've done my whole life. I've loved the outdoors. I'm not afraid of the outdoors. I'm not afraid of snakes, or maybe I should be, but I'm not. So that's one thing. If I if I were afraid, like a lot of people are. See, I work in real estate, and that's one of the first things people say, because I want to, let's go walk on this piece of property that you're thinking of buying. The first thing, oh, is there any snakes? It's like, well, if I was like that, had a lot of fear, I probably wouldn't be producing this video. I wouldn't be interested. So now it's years later, of course, and I happen to be working in real estate. And part of my job is to locate survey pins. These are, and I have my metal detector, but it's not easy to walk through the hill country. Here it's difficult. I mean, there's cactus, there's rocks, there's cliffs, gullies. The cedar around here is so dense, and oak, and it's difficult to walk a straight line for any distance. You have to go around this and go around this and circle back around. So then I got thinking, what did the Indians do? But you see, every now and then I'll come to one of these dry creeks, and all of a sudden it's a lot easier to walk, especially the Comanche Highway. This is a big, wide riverbed. I mean, some are small and they do get overgrown, but the Comanche Highway, this is a big, wide expanse of dry riverbed where the Indians would walk from the north and come down. The Guadalupe River, you can imagine, it's so dry and hot here in Texas. I can just imagine the cold waters of the Guadalupe. I would think that these ancient Indians would have just loved the Guadalupe River. So I can't wait to get down there and explore this. And as far as the Indians traveling down these riverbeds and rivers, there's a book called The Empire of the Summer Moon. That's written by S.C. Gwynne, I guess that's his name, Gwynne. If you haven't read that book, it's a fantastic read about the Comanche Indians. But he even talks at one point where the Indians, after a certain raid down near Galveston, I believe, then they would follow the river back up. So these rivers were also like highways. And then the other day I was watching my Green Mountain metal detecting video, and there was Brad Martin. He runs that channel, but he's walking up the creek with his rubber boots, and he's just saying, man, this is so much easier. There was no road. He was just saying this is so much easier to walk up the creek than trying to make his way through the forest. So this is kind of like what I was thinking, just from my own experience. And then one day, having to, locate these survey pins, I discovered this 3.5 mile section of the Comanche Highway. Here's some screenshots. Different screenshots will show you how from Google Earth, from space, and yes, the Comanche Highway, it looks like a highway. One picture here shows the highways and the roads from Google Earth, and then I used some Photoshop and I took away everything but the riverbed. See, looks just like a highway. Alright, so now there's something else that I want to tell you about this part of Texas. I just learned about this recently, and it's just fascinating. It appears, again, we're south of Austin, so in an area, again, south of Austin. Now, it only takes an hour to get to Austin, so that's why I say it's fairly close to where I live. So south of Austin, there is an area of great archaeological importance because they have discovered human activity, Indian activity, and they know it's 13,000 years old. They're finding some deeper layers that look like it's 15,000 years old. And in this video that I watched, now that video is in my playlist. Each YouTube channel has a playlist. So if you click on my playlist, you'll see a video on the book, Empire of the Summer Moon. And then you'll also see this video I'm talking about, this archaeological dig where they're finding. In that video they suggest maybe 20,000 years old. Well, this is, I mean, when you start going back 15, 20,000 years, you're talking about like ancient Israel and some of the things that, some of the oldest cities in that part of the world that they've unearthed, 12,000, 15,000 years old. So, this is putting this part of Texas that I live in the history books. So hopefully you can now see why I'm interested in this 3.5 mile section, this dry riverbed. I see the logic in it. Now, if people have been in this area for 15,000 years, what can you find? What am I going to find? What are we going to, I want you to come along with me. I'm going to videotape it and see what we can discover. So the point that I'm trying to make here, regarding this 3.5 mile section of the Comanche Highway, is that there have been tribes of ancient human beings walking down it for thousands and thousands of years, trying to reach the beautiful cold waters of the Guadalupe River, where they could thrive, hunt for game, feed their family, take care of their families. So I invite you to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my adventures. But again, it's not like Facebook where you can just, you ever meet people, they post on Facebook like 5 times a day? You can't do that on YouTube. These videos take a long time to make. You got to make them interesting. If it's not interesting, you're not going to watch it. So if you want to, get the full enchilada here, then follow me on Facebook and subscribe to this channel. The next video, it'll be 2-3 weeks, a month before I do that. Thank you very much.